This episode is brought to you by Parma Token, a Crypto.com tracked token. Parma gives you access to exclusive community experiments and no team or pre-sale tokens. Parma is a deflationary coin with over 50% of its tokens burned at the launch and 1% burned on each transactional event. Visit parmatoken.com for more details on acquiring this awesome token. Link in the description below.
This my two Satoshis. Who need 2 cents when they can get double from stacking Toshis? Yeah.
Welcome to my two Satoshis with Default. Coming to you once again with another market analysis video. I wanted to come to you quickly because I'm having a little bit of network issues of where I'm at right now, but I wanted to give you a recap of what I'm seeing in the market, what I was actually updated on Twitter. What I'm starting to see, what is actually a bullish advantage right now, I'm seeing actually in the total 2 market, which is all the alts. It's every coin except Bitcoin. What I started to notice is from this low to this low, and I was looking at the indicators, you can see this was actually, these 2 peaks had the bearish divergence. It was another reason why I was bearish. But right now we're starting to form hidden bullish divergence. You're starting to lose your negative momentum on your MACD. This is on a weekly time frame, and you're also forming that same hidden bullish divergence on the RSI on a weekly time frame. And so I pointed this out. I posted on Twitter the other day. We're starting to, if you scroll in to the lower time frames, what I was noticing is we're starting to like form what you could say is it's a triangle. I mean, technically it is a descending triangle, but I have seen these type of plays actually play out to the upside when you have this weekly hidden bullish divergence forming. And then when you look at your indicators on the daily, you're starting to form MACD bullish divergence as well on the daily. So you're starting to get a combination of daily bullish divergence on your MACD and some on your RSI as well. It's not in oversold territory, which typically is a better read of bullish divergence. Like you'll get oversold and you'll make you'll run up and you'll make a lower low. And on that second lower low, you'll see clear divergence in oversold territory on your RSI. You don't have that here on your RSI, but it is still technically, bullish divergence. But, with that combination with the bullish divergence on the daily, the MACD, and you can make an argument with the RSI, and the hidden bullish divergence on the weekly, I'm starting to get a little more confident that we could see a run up more so than a run down with your alts. And then if you've been in this market and you know that if alts are running, people are more willing to take risk, and the market tends to be way more bullish than if this Bitcoin is running itself. But this is what I started to see, and just with the sentiment that with like on Twitter and every other platform, most people right now are either not talking about crypto, or if they are talking about crypto, they're very depressed. And I'm starting to see maybe some type of advantage right now that we could see some more upside looking at the total 2, looking at all the alts. And also one more thing I want to point out, what I'm seeing across the board, especially with the bigger market cap cryptos. One thing that I also like to do when I'm not seeing as far as like a clear signal, like maybe there's not accumulation on here because you're not making higher lows consistently. Typically, if there's not a clear signal, we're going sideways, I like to look at the RSI to see if there's any like traditional technical patterns. And right now what I'm seeing, not just with the total 2, but with like Bitcoin, with Ethereum, and a few other alts, I'm starting to see the RSI actually consolidate as well within a triangle. You could typically, like I said, there's no other advantage, like with the price action or with your indicators. Well, in this instance, there actually is a advantage, but let's say there wasn't any type of like bullish divergence or hidden bullish divergence on the weekly. I like to use the RSI to see if there's any like patterns. And I'm going to illustrate this more with Bitcoin in a minute, but right now you're starting to get a symmetric triangle after an impulse up. Or you have this drawn, kind of falsely broke out to the downside yesterday, which it was Sunday, it was the weekend. And if you're trading on the weekends, this is not crypto from 2000, I would say even 2020. Like the weekend moves now, everything most of the big major moves are during the week because Wall Street basically controls this asset now. Just to be honest, we can even go back to the last downturn, and I just used the highs, and you could see on our highs we would dull out and sell off at this trend line, and you could see that in this last impulse we went back down a little bit, got above the trend line, back tested it, and then broke out. And if you look at the price action with the RSI combined, these were those peaks. Those are 3 peaks. This is where you start to have the breakout, and we had the back test. You can see that with the price action, that it was the breakout of the RSI, and you had to sell off the back test, and then you ran. I've used this a few times, like I said, when there's no type of advantage as far as no divergence, no clear accumulation. I just use the RSI and just as if it was like a line chart, see if there's any type of consolidation, see if there's any type of advantage, with a traditional technical, pattern with the RSI. And I usually use at least a daily because the lower time scales tend to give false signals. The daily tends to give, it's a lot more time, it's a lot more developed. And this is what I'm starting to see as far as, like I said, with the RSI, with BTC right now, that we are like in a symmetric triangle, this consolidating. And after impulse up, it's typically bullish. And combined with the total 2 market showing that hidden bullish divergence on the weekly on the RSI and MACD, and the bullish divergence on the daily with the MACD and RSI, I'm starting to get a little bit more confident that we will see an impulse up more so than a sell-off. And just to show you with the Ethereum as well, we're getting that same type of consolidation using the, the highs and the lows. Right now, before I was about to start the video, I think we had an impulse up of a couple with Bitcoin. I think it went up maybe like $500-$600. It was at like 38,800, so we're up like $800 right now. And other than that, I mean, we've just been mainly going sideways patterns that we've been in. And if you just plot a trend line from the highs and a trend line to the lows, just this consolidation right now. And, if we break up, I think we will start to test these highs again. And let's see if we can break above these highs this time. And if we fail to break this trend line, we're probably going to dump, and we're probably going to $30,000 and testing that support down in that region. I mean, the weekly has been wicking off of, you've been getting, impulses up and there's sell-offs at the end of the week. And it's early in the week, it's Monday. Although we'll have a repeat. But, that's all I'm seeing right now as far as crypto. Maybe a slight advantage to the upside because the altcoin total 2 is showing right now a somewhat advantage that we could see more upside. Bitcoin is more neutral. You are consolidating on the smaller, time frames. And I guess if, for me in this situation, I'm looking for confirmation. So I'm looking for these trend lines to actually break, whether it's upside or downside, and I'll take my position when I get confirmation. But until then, I don't see, as far as Bitcoin, it's very much just neutral sideways. You did break below. I think last video I said if we broke below this last low, could be, potentially catastrophic. But what actually happened was in that 4 hour, you made bullish divergence and you had an impulse up. You tested the 42K area as resistance, and you couldn't get any higher. Oh, you got to 42.5 and then you sold off. Right now, you're just consolidating, but that's pretty much all I'm seeing right now at BTC. Just want to update also because it's another thing that I posted on Twitter actually on Friday was silver. I was actually seeing on the lower time scale 4 hour a potential head and shoulders pattern. And I posted, you probably could see a pullback from this pattern. And as you see, we have broken the neckline of that pattern and we're starting to accelerate to the downside. And so, overall, as long as silver really stays above this last low in the daily at 2240, you're still bullish. There's nothing on the daily that has me questioning whether we will, where the bull run is in jeopardy. I think this is just a typical, you had a nice run, having a sell-off now, probably will start to consolidate, and probably run up and test this, these higher prices. If you ever break this trend line, this weather trend line, I think we're going to be testing all-time highs on silver. I stated last video that, looking at gold and silver technically look more bullish than crypto at the moment. We still haven't made this measure move. Got close, but it's a measure move. Again, there's nothing on a daily that has me too concerned with gold right now. I'm just expecting, like, as long as you stay above 1800, honestly, on gold, I don't see anything that's technically, like, worrying. I know one thing that does have me somewhat slight worrying is how we closed the weekly. I don't like how we had that wick. We rejected this area, the all-time highs. We tested that area, rejected it. What I would like to see is we just consolidate and then, have another impulse up to the upside. Again, stay above 1800. We could retrace deeply and then run again. But right now, I know what's really weighing on the gold and metals market is, and also other commodities like oil and food, is all the turmoil right now with Russia. Fundamental reason why these markets are moving. Right now I had some options as far as like an asset I've been tracking. Really need to do a whole video on like gold and silver miners, and because I'm starting to see like similar patterns I saw in 2020 of the altcoins. I'm starting to see that in the silver and gold miners. This is an asset that I've actually been tracking. AG, First Majestic Silver Corporation. I was looking at this on the monthly time scale, and we have just been consolidating since 2011 and this symmetric triangle. And basically, if you ever break out of this symmetric triangle on the monthly time scale, which right now we have hidden bullish divergence on the monthly, on the MACD, I have a wild target of like 140s, 139.93. It's a crazy target. If we ever break above, I believe the area is 1325 on the monthly. We close above it, I'm probably gonna go crazy into this asset. And if this is breaking out, this is going to follow silver. It's going to determine if this asset is going to play out to the upside or the downside. So, this is just one of the miners that I have my eye on. And I know this is getting off topic of crypto, but to me, whether it's crypto, whether it's, commodities, whether it's the stock market, to me, it's all dependent on the chart. It depends on the price action. You do have fundamental reasons why these assets gain or lose value. It's important to be aware of those, but me personally, I just focus more so on the technicals. Just wanted to give you an update of what I was seeing in the crypto market, give you a little update on gold and silver, introducing you to this asset AG. I will do another video this week. I got a lot going on right now, kind of on the road, kind of like a vacation slash working on a project. I will have more updates on the next video about that. But until then, you can find me on Twitter at all your mentions. Till next time, stay safe out there and peace.